Hello. Hello. Hello, I am audible to all of you. Hello. Hello. A very good evening to all of you. Sorry, we are facing some network issue because of what 10 minutes delay in the webinar is there today. And I would like to introduce today's our speaker, Mr. Arnab Mukherjee sir. He is an entrepreneur as well as he have many programming skills like Python programming, MATLAB, and he has been get and he too have got many certificate also, and he has successfully completed the lab for aerial robotics for NDA under AI and Robotics Club and NKDA Smart City Project POC project certificate for an energy conversion mechanism in college. So I would request Mr. Arnab Mukherjee sir to please start. Hello. Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Yes.
Okay, welcome you, sir. Sorry
Thank
for
you, ma'am.
sorry for that 10-minute delay, sir.
No, not an issue. Not an issue at all, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Right now you can start, sir.
Okay. I'd like to introduce myself. Will I keep the video on, or I'll just?
As you wish.
Oh,
As you wish. No
okay.
problem.
Okay. I'll just switch the camera then.
Okay.
Okay. So I'd like to introduce myself. I am Arnab Mukherjee from Flycast. We are working on drones and IoT. We are a startup based out of Kolkata. And currently, we are trying to expand to more cities, of course, but we have just started off. It's quite early in our stage of a startup. We started off in late 2018. We are three co-founders here. Myself and Ornov, and other two co-founders are Gourango and Srijan. And the thing is that we studied in the same college, and we have passed out on 2015. After that, we went to do our own jobs. uh, Even Gorango, one of our teammates, one of our co-founders, He was outside Kolkata even. He was posted outside Kolkata. He came back to Kolkata. He joined another startup. He was working in another startup, which was dealing with CAD and CAM designs. We are all, by the way, we are all engineering background from mechanical engineering. And we have been engaged in different jobs altogether for the last 3 years before we started off together. I was actually pursuing MTech, and after that, I dropped out and I started off this thing. And in late 2018, in November 2018, we planned to band up together. We were doing things individually on the same field because Gorang was involved in startup who was working on CAD and CAM. I was working on freelance in a startup. And also I had internships and a few, I had worked in technical operations as in another startup at IIMC Kolkata. So Calcutta had offered me at that startup job because I was doing a freelance in manufacturing and production. I was doing an internship then, so I got that offer from them. Once I got that offer, I joined them. I started learning a little bit more things about the startup culture that is spreading all across India from 2012, 2013 onwards. And it was really took a peak at on 2016-17 when Flipkart and others came into much more prominence and became a part of our daily life and became a part of the folklore of Indian startup that okay, these things can be done in India too, not just US and other European countries, but India too can join the bandwagon of startups. And that is how we came into being. And we planned, okay, let's not be separated, start something together, and let's band up. In 2018, we started it off as we had named it different. We unfortunately, during the registration time, we didn't get the name that we had given. It because it was already taken by somebody else. Somebody else had filed for it. But whatever, we had our ups and downs, whatever that we had. But when we started off, there was no looking back. I would just tell one thing to all of who have joined this call here that if you are planning for something like this, if you're planning to do um, something important, something uh, in the field of startup, we explored ourselves in different jobs, different ventures, at different points of time for the 3 years after we passed out in 2015. But after that, when we joined in, there was no looking back. We should be focused in one thing that we are doing. We should be completely focused. I'll suggest everyone who is planning for something, if you have an idea, whatever the idea is, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that every idea will click, every idea may not click. We have also failed several times in the past. Before starting off, I'll tell you what happened and how we got separated, then again joined up together. But if the idea fails, not to worry, just go hang in there, just go on, and don't look back. That if you don't regret what you have decided, that is what I can say, that never regret. If you start regretting what you have decided, what you have came in for, then I think that is when if your idea is not good enough also, if your idea is not from that idea to shift from or to means accelerate and go beyond. But if you regret your decision, then if you are regretting the decision, then I think if you're looking back and okay, I could have earned more in a job. Of course you could have earned more in a job. Of course it would be much more stable, much more means welcoming, much more beneficial. But whatever the thing is, if you're looking back at it, then that idea, if it is a good one or a bad one, or if it doesn't work or doesn't, if no idea is a bad one, but if it doesn't work or if it does work, but it will never succeed if you don't put your efforts behind it. I'll tell everybody that we never looked back after 2018. What happened was, in 2016, after we passed out, We tried something together. We tried one of because we both one of my co-founders and me both were quite enthusiastic in for designing and photography. So we started off something like that, I mean similar to it, and we launched our venture in the very book fair that year. That it's a Kolkata book fair. It's a very grand event in Kolkata. So we launched it that year itself, and then we got a good response. We sold our photos, what we had made out of all the photo design and editing. We had sold at least 100 of photos in numbers. It looked good as beginners. We didn't know what to do, but we had printed it all. We had invested in it, though it was a little small investment, meager investment, but we were all sold out. And we've thought that okay, it is working, everybody is welcoming our idea, everybody is good with it. So we started a Facebook page, we did everything we needed to do, but unfortunately it didn't work out. It fell apart. And what we did, the mistake was we didn't uh, stay together. We thought that okay, it doesn't work out, so if it is not happening, let's go and do something else. At that point of time when we did that, it was the wrong decision, I think. If we had stayed together, we could have gotten something better idea out of it, or something different idea out of it, but we didn't. And we went apart. We stayed apart for 1.5 years. We did our jobs, and then again we came back. And after that, when we joined, there was no looking back. We never looked back. We had our hiccups initially. Whenever we are not a quite a funded startup, we're completely bootstrapped. We are not at all funded. And as a bootstrap startup means we are earning our own profits, we are delivering from our own profits. It is quite difficult in the initial stages to cope up with the pressure and the competition around, but we prevailed that, because once we are into the startup, we think that once we are into this entrepreneurship drive, everything, the most important phase, what is called as the first 6 months. If you endure the first 6 months of it, then there is a chance that you will endure the 1 year also. When you're enduring a 1 year, the whole scenario changes. Then there is a chance that you will go on to the second year. You will see that maximum of these startups have who have not endured this thing have gone have broken up or switched over to some different professions and all in the first 2 years, max 3 years. Within the first 2 3 years they have switched their professions. But that is the 1 year, means even in 1 year the maximum it happens. In 1 year they switch the startups and all. So that is how things are different now. If you are prevailing for one whole year, then you know that you can go beyond that year itself. You can go beyond and you can work beyond. That is how things are better when you are looking at it. When you are prevailing, when you are enduring the pain of not earning as much as your friend. But when you start it, you can see that okay, something is better, something of your own, something that you have put your all effort into, something that you have put your idea, you have put your effort, you have put everything behind it. And when you put that, you feel it as your own, you get it as your own, and you completely when you start earning from that, may it be meager one, may it be not as much as your friend who is working in a top MNC, but there is something different in that earning because it's completely your own. You're not working for someone else. You are not paying attention to whatever others have to say to you. You are not having to means uh, care about or feel claustrophobic because there is no environment, you're not liking the environment. There is nothing like that. That is a good feeling that comes from within. What happened is when we started off, as the income was low, one of our co-founders, to sustain the income, uh, as I mentioned, while I started the talk here, Gourango, he started driving Uber cabs. He started driving Uber cabs, and once he started that, he started driving Uber cabs at night, and he started taking long tours in Uber cabs at night, and he would return by morning, so that he could work here, and he could also he could also sustain his income and all, and also support some of it through running it. So there is always a way out. That is what I'm saying. There is always a way out. He started earning through Uber cabs. We started again, whatever the income is. I started giving tuitions 3 days a week, so that I can support myself through that. And one of my other co-founders, Srijan, he also started making some photographs, editing them. He was doing a part-time job so that he too could sustain himself. So what have happened is, after we were going through this phase in 2019 February, we were filing for different incubation programs and all. We got a call up from Webel Kolkata. From Webel Kolkata, they were holding an event, and there one of the incubators was come joining them at that point of time, and we got a call up from there. And after we got a call up, we went there, we attended the meet, we presented our case to them. He said, okay, I'll not invest as of now, but present me the idea at Baliganj. His home is near Baliganj. At the Cafe Coffee Day near his home at the CCD. He called us up the next day and told that present me a thorough PPT of whatever you are doing, whatever you are planning. So we went there, and unfortunately, we were late for the meeting, but he didn't go away. He was patient enough uh, to sit there and wait for us, and he heard us. He completely listened to us. He told that, okay, I've got only 10 minutes left. If you are giving something 7 to 8 minutes, that's nice, or else I'm gone after 10 minutes. So we presented it, and then we spoke for half an hour regarding all our ideas, whatever we are trying to do, whatever we're trying to build, or how we are trying to planning to expand. That he was quite impressed, and we talked for half an hour, more than half an hour. And that day he told us, okay, yeah, I'm incubating you, and not an investment, of course, but the incubation, the office space will be provided to you, and all the facilities, all my connects will be given, so that you could grow faster. That, as an opportunity, within 6 months, 6 7 months of starting it, that was a big opportunity for all of us. And we grabbed onto that. We were incubated at that point of time. And that very day when we got incubated, and we started off as very uh, means other startups were also there who were incubated, and they were quite fast growing, and we were just starting off at that point of time. But unfortunately we had to leave because it was a permanent office kind of a thing, so we had to leave the other jobs that we were doing to sustain ourselves. That came as a shock, but yes, after that, things started changing gradually. Things started changing gradually. We got all the we got a few connects. We explored the few connects, and the first work that we got is from Tata Metallics Kharagpur. At Kharagpur, they had Tata was doing a conventional method of volume analysis of their raw materials. This volume analysis, what they do is their raw materials, they're piled up in their yard, and they analyze everything that is coming day in and day out. They analyze the volume once or twice a month, so that they can keep a track of how much raw materials are coming in and going out. That is how they do it. There is a conventional method. It takes up to 10 days for the whole result to come in, and it it is quite laborious. The conventional method is quite laborious. It involves around 20 people. They will take samples from every piles. They'll test the density and all. They'll go and check for the volume later on in the laboratory. So that takes up a lot of time, a lot of effort, and that also costs them a lot. So they were planning something different, and we got approached by them, and we went there and gave them a demonstration that okay, this is how it works, and this is how we can just work it out. That with the drones, we'll take 3 hours of your day. We'll deploy the drones. We'll map the whole yard where your raw materials are kept. We'll map the whole yard. We'll map the volume. Then we'll have a software at our backend. We'll take 2 more days for stitching all the pictures together, what we have taken, and converting it into 3D with 3D modeling of it. And with the 3D modeling, we'll calculate the volume, and with the density, we'll get the weight of the whole pile, all the different piles that is being kept in your yard. We demonstrated that with a small area. They were impressed with the results. We at least gave an efficiency of, you can say, 96, 97%. So that is how we began our journey. And then after 1 month, they called us up again and they told that, okay, now come over. You will do the whole project. They gave a project for 1 year of analysis. We're still doing that. And they're planning to give it more even. And they're planning to extend our contract. They give a contract for a whole year for complete analysis of their raw materials. The conventional way they are doing it, of course, we are not eating up jobs in here, but they are doing it, but they're doing it less. We can do the conventional way they used to do quarterly. Now we are giving them, because we just need 1 day for going there, taking 3 hours of their day in that particular day, and then we come back, and after that we process it within 2 days and give them the results. It's just a 3 day matter. So they are doing it monthly wise. They're doing it on a per month basis of this thing. What they used to do the analysis for the conventional way for in a quarterly once. Now they're doing in a monthly way. They're doing every month. We are going in there, and because of the COVID situation, of course, there are restrictions. We are unable to go. We were unable to go the last few months, but things have changed now. So once again, we have resumed the work. So that is how our first work came into being. That is how we are doing. We are still doing it. We are still improving on our accuracy, on our efficiency. Yes, we are giving it, and now around 97.5% of efficiency. There is a margin of error every time, but yes, they're quite satisfied with the result. It means it is quite satisfactory to them that they are getting a result in almost a real time thing, that okay, these files are happening, this mapping is happening, the volume analysis, they're getting it on. And from there, this was a work that we got from Tata Metallics. Of course, Tata is a big name that we got involved and we got early on. And with that work order itself, we got a contract from one of the prestigious organizations in Kolkata, in West Bengal, one of the prestigious organization. It's a college. It's an agricultural college. From them also we got another project for mapping and providing a drone solution completely for developing their mapping and mapping and everything in their laboratory grown plants and all for the whole analysis. We did it with them. It was a one-time thing, of course, but we delivered the product to them. But it was quite a thrilling opportunity for us. Then on this field, when we go ahead, was gradually, when we got two of these projects, we started, we were much more confident this time. We approached many other people around, and we got one of the most interesting project regarding the IoT and drone based analysis for QR analysis. We have done a demo already with you people might have heard the name of Newtown Smart City in Kolkata. We got complete street mapping, because the internal street, those are numbers, just numbers in Newtown and not a particular name of the street. So that in the exterior of Newtown, Kolkata, the smart city, there are many streets and many bylanes which are being mapped by the NKD or the Newtown Development Authority. So that then and there we started a demo. We have already done a demo of them. and also a sensor-based calculation of air quality. We've already done a demo, and this demo has worked well. And we got in touch with them, and we have provided them a QR code enabled analysis of the whole thing. Means the whole map of that area will be summarized inside a QR code on the street map that is provided. And anybody scanning that map, scanning that QR code will get access to all the street numbers and home numbers. uh, And that will be a easy go for any outsider coming in at that point of time. So that is how we are working with them, along with them at this point of time. And one more project that we are currently engaged in is also on the field of agriculture. That is not in Kolkata, but outside. It's in Madhya Pradesh with the Madhya Pradesh government itself. Now, what we have got the contact of one of the person. We are working with another company here in a joint venture here. So we have been working. We will be providing a demo soon in by the end of December regarding the yield estimation of the crops in crops grown like bajra and maize grown in Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. In some parts of Uttar Pradesh also, we'll be giving a demo of the whole project report that we have submitted. We have submitted a project report for yield estimation and complete model farming for app-based notification to the farmers directly, so that they can get benefit. They get benefited from this whole aspect of this technological advancement that we are implementing at that point, that region itself, so that they can estimate the yield. They can also have an idea about the daily weather. They can also have an idea about the whole means um, needed, how much even the pesticides and the germicides needed, amount needed. They can have an idea of the whole thing about it. They can have a complete thermal and means multispectral analysis. Even they can estimate how much if there is some damage, if some weed or something is attacking the plant, they can also have an idea regarding uh, that how much the plant will be getting affected, how much of the percentage will get deteriorated at that point of time. They'll get an idea over it. So these are a few projects that we are currently engaged in. We are trying to contribute as much as possible through our small aspect of here. Then and also we are developing a drone, developing a solution which had been asked by one of our northeast police commandants and also Kolkata. We're developing a solution here along with the complete indigenous setup of the controller, the flight controller in the drone. So we are completely building that from scratch, and we are redesigning a drone, of course. And we have built a solution already. We have assembled a drone. We have built a solution um, which will give them a flight time of around 1 hour, and for a camera which is enabled with 10x zoom capability, and also it will have a capability of carrying an emergency payload of around 800 grams to 1 kilo. So that is the solution we are working. Also, we are working in this regarding this. Other than the mapping and all, we are also working on a product solution for Kolkata police and northeastern one of the police commandants. So these are the few projects that we are completely devoted to, and we can say that that's quite fortunate enough that our hands are full, because during after the incident of COVID happened, the lockdown and all, then whatever it was going on, we felt that something will be going wrong. Something is not right, because most of the orders, consecutive orders were cancelled. Most of the programs were cancelled. So that is how we got a complete shock. And after that utter shock, we came out, and we have I'll not say completely recovered, but we're certainly on the path of recovery after this whole thing that happened. Because as a startup, burning out the hard means burning out the money is quite easy, and it's quite dangerous. If you're burning up your funds and I told you before that we are not a startup which has the outside investment. We are completely bootstrapped as of now. But yes, we have raised debt investments. Those are part of investments. There are different types of investments. And, we have raised investment against debt, but other than that, if you are looking at something else, if you're looking at this whole scenario here, we are completely means we are on the path of recovery. We are recovering well, and I think we can keep up the pace. We can go ahead with more encouragement from uh, this kind of environment that is going on around in India. That okay, um, this country is evolving to a culture which is sustainable, which is quite suitable for the startups to flourish. Not only the big corporations just, but also the startups. Even the big corporations are lending a hand to support these startups. That is also a good sign for the in any country which is looking to go leaps and bounds and compete with other first world countries. So yes, that is an opportunity for us. We are trying to escalate it as far as possible, as far as we can do it. And also this journey is quite interesting. Certainly when there were many ups and downs, as I mentioned that we were doing tuitions. One of our co-founders was driving an Uber cab for sustaining himself. But mm, whatever this journey is, it is an interesting thing that then also we had a certain backup of funds, though bootstrapped, though debt invested, but we had certain backup of funds before the COVID ensued. But after this COVID scenario, after this lockdown, the funds started burning up really fast, very very fast. It was really very much of a nightmare for all of us that how to stop this, because we had to make the payments. We had to pay our contract people, our vendors, whatever they were, whatever it was left with us, whatever they were left to be paid towards them. But we were completely helpless to how to stop this. But what happened is we started, okay, we figured it out. We spoke to each other, we sat down, we completely brainstormed that okay, let's pay it all, let's burn everything up. We cannot do anything as of now because it's completely out of our hands. But let's not forget one thing, that we will have to sustain, we'll have to prevail this whole period of thing that is happening, because we have came this far and there is no looking back. There were problems, there were issues, but we didn't look back. What we did, what happened is during the COVID, during the lockdown, what benefited us is we started learning new things. We added to our learning gap. One thing I can say, that whatever you are doing, if you do not learn and or unlearn the things that you have learned, then there is no going ahead. That is how we are going, means that is how we can have, means we can chart a path for the growth, we can chart a path for the recovery. We charted this path. We knew we were headed where we were headed. And during the lockdown, when everything was out of our hands, we completely plotted our path. We completely sat down. We planned and planned and planned. We discussed everything, whatever was happening. We discussed all the pros and cons, and we knew that where we had to reach after this period of stringent financial crisis ended. Of course, our country is going through a financial crisis. We are going through an economic crisis. But yes, we are still on the path of recovery again. The country is also on the path of recovery. Slowly, gradually, things are opening up. Gradually, things are looking brighter as the days pass by. So this is where we planned and we knew where we were going, where we are headed to. We knew our path, we knew our target, and that is how we pre-planned the whole thing. And once we pre-planned the whole thing, everything, 100% of the plan didn't work out that as we had planned. Yes, of course. But we knew that if 50% works out, we'll be able to drive ourselves again on the path of recovery, again on the path of a immense fund generation. That is how we had pre-planned the whole set, pre-planned the whole thing, and that is how we started our contribution. We started learning new things. We did different kind of courses. We attended different boot camps that were being held during the lockdown. We attended different online courses, different aspects of finances, marketing. We learned whatever we could from our own aspects, so that whatever we were learning, whatever means to come, because something was changing. The things were not to be normal once things were opening up, right? So things were not looking better. Things were not to be looking better as it was. Means when in March everything was being shut down, things scenario was different, completely different. And when in July again everything was opening up, the scenario was completely different. We couldn't expect the same things to be what was happening before this COVID scenario, lockdown. Then after the lockdown, we couldn't expect the same things to repeat itself. We had to expect different things. We had to expect different outcomes. So accordingly, we planned. Accordingly, we started learning new things. And once we started learning new things, it helped us a lot. It helped us a lot to go through that period, of course. And secondly, we started unlearning a few more things, that what is not to be done, what is not to be done when things are opening up, what is to be done when the things are opening up. Things will be new, things will be different. So we started moving forward with another agenda, completely different agenda. We started moving forward, we started changing our plans, we started changing our outlook completely. So yes, there was a shift in our plans, shift in our programs, shift in our outlooks. Everything shifted. And yeah, that came out once we started learning new things, because people were developing new ways to adapt to the conditions, and we were learning those new ways to adapt to the conditions. And that is where we feel that whatever the thing is, the most important thing is to keep learning. If you stop this learning process, if you stop this learning completely, this process of learning is very important. If you stop this process of learning, if you stop this process of learning new things, you'll stop the process of adaptation. And without adapting, humans wouldn't have been here. And of course, a startup like us, which is just 2.5 years old, will be 3 years soon, but yes, couldn't be sustained without adapting to the new situations, without learning new things, without adapting to the new realities that was happening around us, all around us. We know everybody, because uh, as far as this is concerned, if this happened in the normal situation, I would be presenting live in front of a live audience. Here we don't have the it would have been different. I would be in person, everybody in person. Here we don't have to be in person. Here we don't have to go in person, and we are completely watching over uh, a Zoom call that is being held from two different places at the same time. So we are getting connected. The thing is that this is how things have changed. This is how things have developed. This is how we have to adapt. We have adapted this. We all of you who are attending this.
When you have a short-term plan, laying down long-term plan, they are in for the big ball, so they are able to just play out something like Maxwell. Ideally, you would want
Mm,
somebody to go after Maxwell. Why also brings it seven to the stop order, which is two fielders outside, is letting an opportunity go by, but this will
Hello.
typically always look at just extending the game further. But I thought India got a very good look at what could be their best bowling attack matches. Shami will come back. Bumrah was looking good. I think there's something there with South.
Hello, I think somebody was watching cricket.
Yeah, someone enters.
No problem. No problem with that. It was happening because yes, India lost 2 games. That is important. We are not
Oh,
happening if not, after lockdown. Yes, we lost badly in the first 2 games, so it's quite natural. Somebody is watching cricket, so yes, no problem with that. So the thing is that what I was telling is this thing where the period of this learning curve that we entered, it's always, I think that thing should be going on as usual. We are adapting to the new conditions. We are adapting to the Zoom call. We are not going to the colleges. We are not visiting the colleges. The students are not coming in. The schools are not reopening properly. We are all attending Zoom calls, Zoom classes. We are getting fed up staying in bed. We cannot just go out and play even. But yes, we have adapted to the new conditions, new realities, and that is how we grow. But in case of a startup, in case of an entrepreneurship, you just need to learn even deeper, go even deeper to the aspects of every aspects of this whole entrepreneurship thing, so that you can adapt more easily. If you are not adaptive, if you have a preconceived idea of the things, if you are that rigid that you are not going, whatever you are going through will be going through the same way. No, if this thing cannot happen really, because the things needs to be changed. The things have changed already. You have to think different now. You have to think different. If you are thinking that okay, I'll start something, maybe some of you who are there in the college might be thinking that, oh, okay, during the college or after the college we'll start something, we'll go with this idea like this and this and that will happen. But no, I'll suggest, just stand there, don't rethink the idea, but look back, rethink how you are going to implement that idea. The implementation and how you are going to implement is important. The implementation is the most important aspect, that how your idea will work or not. Look, if you I'm giving a bit wayward example, but it was Uber who got the idea of this whole rent a cab thing, where the drivers are not the part of Uber, but Uber as a company is delivering the drivers to the um people, to us. But what happened is, how they got the idea, they got the idea from there that um, the yellow cab in USA, also the normal cab, the normal taxi, it was quite a problematic thing, quite a problematic thing to get on, to get a taxi on time. But then Uber came in. That was when the economic crisis happened. Then Uber came in. They gave a cheaper alternative. It was expensive, the normal taxis. They gave a cheaper alternative. They gave a reliable thing to use during the whole scenario. That is how we got Uber gaining the ground in there in US and also globally in different places. But if you look at it, the same things were implemented by Ola. But Ola is also a successful startup, and also Uber. There is not a very much of a difference in the idea of the two. There is not a difference in the idea of the two are the two different big companies that I named so far. But they thought differently. The thought process was different. The implementation was different. How they went about, how they researched the market, how they reached the market was different. So that is how we have to think. Even the idea might be same as the thing is there, but the implementation, how you implement it, how you execute it, is very much important. Is what makes all the difference. The implementation and execution stands out, and it makes all the difference. There is a change in the mindset. As of we can say from our example, that what we have seen, there was very much of a constraint of giving a work to a startup in Bengal. In Bengal, everybody was looking for an experienced company to work for them. But as soon as things started developing, the things started changing, then the people were looking beyond this established big shot companies or experienced companies, but looking more into young energetic startups who were looking to do work at a lesser a much competitive rate, but a much with better efficiency, and also with lot more effort and a lot more, because the startup will listen to more things than a big shot company, because they have a set of programs that has to be executed. But a startup will be much more fluid, and that is how the outlook in Bengal slowly gradually is changing. We still have a bit lagging behind rather than the cities like Bangalore, Hyderabad, or Mumbai in aspects of startup. But in Kolkata and Bengal, we are catching up slowly and gradually, with the visions of the people gradually changing, and giving more focusing more into this startup scenario, investing more into the startup scenario. Yes, the complete investment, yeah, I'll say that, okay, still there is a problem of getting a early on investor or an early bird investor or a seed investor initially at the initial stages, but in Kolkata itself. But if your idea is good, if your idea is working, if you're executing it well, then I think that just prevail for some time, just prevail, things will pass and you'll get something on board. You'll get somebody on board. It will help you all along. Yes, it is lesser than the other cities that I named in here, Kolkata or the Eastern India itself. But we are gradually catching up. We are slowly, gradually catching up the whole scenario. This kind of programs, what I have attended, all the boot camps and all, everything was held either in Bangalore or in Delhi or in Mumbai itself, or maybe sometimes in Hyderabad. But this kind of program that is being held in Eastern India itself, in a college of Eastern India, so that is quite fascinating. That is how we, means this is the awareness that we have come along. This is how we have become more aware in this part of the country also, that okay, we need somebody to come on. It's a big opportunity for me. I'm just we have just complete um, yes, startup complete a startup. We have not completed even 3 years. We are into the early stage of a startup, but still this is a big opportunity for me, and this looks really good for every one of us, that this whole scenario is being entertained in a college of Eastern India, an Eastern India college. We are working together, and we are planning, we are inviting on in startup entrepreneurs like us to just have a session like this. It's quite definitive here itself. But the thing is that as because it's a Techno India group college, I like to mention in Kolkata, with Kolkata Techno India, we had done an exercise for raising drone awareness and all. In March 2019, we had done a program with Techno India Kolkata itself for drone racing in Kolkata, in Newtown, Kolkata, of course. We had done a program jointly together for drone racing, and we had executed it well. Many students had attended, many participated in that, and that was really a thing that came up. And once again, in Techno India, in Chaibasha also, we are getting an opportunity to speak. So yes, it's a nice thing that is going on all around, that we are doing. And this eastern part of the country, they need to encourage more startups coming in, need to encourage more students coming into the startup. One thing I'd like to add
Arnab
with
sir,
this. Yes.
sorry for the interruption, sir.
No, not at all.
Sir, can we wrap up the session within 5 to 10 minutes, sir?
Yes, sure. I just last few words that I would
And
like to say is that whatever all the students who have heard me, who
yeah,
have even not heard me, so I'd like to say is to them is, whatever you are planning, plan it and go for it. Not
and
just delay it.
one more thing I want to say that all the students and sir as well as you, sir, please we will have a group photo session, sir. So switch on the videos for few seconds also.
Okay. Okay.
And all the students also I
Okay.
request.
Sure. No problem. No
Okay,
problem,
sir.
ma'am.
Okay. All the students, please also you. Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, now
Thank
you
you,
can go
ma'am.
ahead, sir.
Thank you for this session, and thank you everybody who have listened. And it was quite a beautiful session to share our story. We are just early stage startup. We are still growing. It was a nice session to be attended. Nice session to be co-hosted with you, ma'am. Thank you everybody,
And
and all
thank
the
you,
best for
sir,
your future
and for
ventures.
giving your valuable time, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Not an issue at all. It was good to share with because
And the number of
I
participants
built
is
college.
also good, sir. It is about 106.
Okay, thank you everybody. Thank you everyone who have been attending.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
to all the students also. I hope, sir, we will meet again, sir.
Sure. I would like to meet. I'd like to meet in person this time because because this is scenario of COVID. This is quite
Yeah.
uncertain. But yes, we'd like to meet in person this time, and it's quite entertaining. I'd like to congratulate everybody, and I'd like to tell everybody that whatever you are doing, give your 100% and give all the effort into that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, all of you. Now I'm concluding the webinar. Okay. Thanks to all the students. Thank you, sir, once again.
Thank you.
Okay.